you know that this relationship is not good for you. But you keep thinking about the good times. You keep wondering if he'll change, if he'll maybe do the things that he promised that he'll do. You wonder if he'll love you the way that he's promised that he'll love you, if he'll be consistent, if he'll show up. You may focus on things of the past. You are very hopeful that this relationship or even marriage will work out, but you keep questioning, why does love hurt? In this video, I'm going to talk about, right, how to leave the wrong relationship, but I'm going to focus on something that I don't see online often. I'm going to focus on how attachment plays a role in keeping us in unhealthy relationships. If you're new here, my name is Ceminthia. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and relationship recovery coach. Over here, we say healed is the new sexy, and we're doing the work to heal and to be whole while preparing for our next relationship, if that's what you want, okay? But you can be healed and be single if that's what if that's what you want to, okay? So as a therapist and relationship coach, I've seen how attachment, not love, often keeps women stuck in toxic relationships. Quite often when I'm doing a coaching session, I'll ask my clients, like, who taught you about love? Who taught you about relationships? Many women, especially women of color, Black women, we there's not many conversations between mother and daughter as relates to healthy relationships. Some of us just learn about relationships either through our peers, and also through what we see. Okay, there's a book called Stolen Women, and she talks about as relates to education, especially specifically, forgive me, around sex. For Black women, a lot of it is through media and it's through our peers, and it's the same as relates to relationships. But we don't talk a lot about attachment, and it's important for you to know that the reason why you may be stuck in this relationship is not because of love, but it's because of the attachment that you've formed with your partner. And so we're going to break that down. Okay. I want you to know that you aren't weak and you aren't desperate. You know, you're not desperate for love. We were created for love. But you have to place yourself and position yourself so that you can have a healthy love. And if you know that this relationship or this marriage is not providing that to you, then there's some additional work that you may need to do. And so I'm going to encourage you to schedule a coaching call. You're emotionally bonded to someone who doesn't meet your needs. You're not needy. We all have needs. Now, I did a video yesterday about, I really believe that there's some parts in our soul that only God can feel, but there's other parts in our soul that our children feel, that our man feels, you know what I'm saying? That our passions and our hobbies feel those parts in our soul. But when you are not being loved correctly, when you are not being loved the way that you need to be loved, there's this ache that it creates on the inside of you. There may be this anxiousness. You don't feel emotionally safe. And so, you know, you may feel like, okay, he's taking me for granted. I'm not seen. I'm not heard. And this is just not healthy for me. This is triggering me. I don't feel safe in this relationship. Quite often the threshold in relationships is like, well, if he's not abusing you, then, you know, it's a healthy relationship. But that's not true. As women, it's not just about abuse. What it's about is being seen, being heard, feeling emotionally safe, being able to be intimate, not just physically, but emotionally, feeling a close connection. Okay. So I'm going to teach you the difference between love and attachment, why we stay in unhealthy relationships, and how to begin to let go. Let it go. Let it go. Sorry, just came to mind. Okay, so let me define attachment in simple terms. Attachment is the emotional bond that forms when we feel safe, seen, or needed by someone, even if that person later becomes the source of our pain. Think of if you're a mom, think of that baby. Okay, when you had a baby, I remember when I had my son, I stayed up all night and I just looked at him. I was just so amazed by him, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have a baby. Oh my gosh, right? I had him at 27. But in that relationship, my child needs me. I breastfed him, changed his diapers, changed his clothes, gave him baths, do all the things. I was needed there. Some women are conditioned to be needed in relationships. So when you show up dating, You show up from a place of trying to fulfill that man's needs, his every desire. And what happens is you're giving your physical and your emotional labor and you're not receiving anything in return. He's taking advantage of you, even your financial support. I'm going to say this, that 50-50. But it really turns out 80-20. We don't show up to relationships just to be needed. Now, some of us, I'm the eldest daughter. Some of us have been taught that our labor is what's important. And so we just show up to relationships just giving. But there's nobody pouring into us. And now you feel depleted. And after a while, you begin to feel taken advantage of. Because you are. You are. You have to be careful that you aren't, you want to attract Prince Charming. You don't want to attract a leech. Leeches drain you of your life source. Or a vampire. I love that movie. Was it Vampire in Brooklyn? I love that movie. I did. Okay. So let's talk about anxious attachment. Anxious attachment. They fear abandonment. They often cling harder when mistreated. So the man mistreats you and you're like, what did I do? How did I upset you? How can I make it better? And so then he's leaning back, you lean in. Avoided attachment, fears closeness, stays detached or inconsistent. And you could be a mix of these. Okay. So there's this push-pull in the relationship with the avoided attachment. Often we think of men being avoided and women being anxious, then they get together. Can I tell myself? I am an avoided, anxious girly. Oh my gosh. And some of you are too. If you want me to do a video on that, say Ceminthia, do the video on the avoided, anxious girly. You want the closeness, but you like, wait a minute, you can't get too close because I don't trust you. I don't know you like that. Whoa. But then it's like, I don't want you to leave me. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Child, it's a time, but I'm working on it. Okay. And then the final one where we all are trying to get to is secure attachment. You can love and set boundaries. Okay. All right. Attachment makes you crave connection with the same person who's hurting you. That's why it feels like withdrawal when you try to leave. You ever try to leave a man and you felt like, listen, I've never tried any illegal substance, even marijuana, but the you think it's love, right? You're like, girl, I can't eat. I can't sleep. I just feel so sick to my stomach. I just miss him so much. No, that ain't, that's attachment. And once the attachment is broken, you are able to leave the relationship. That's why they say women can be present physically in a relationship, but by the time she goes, she's left emotionally. That's because the attachment has been disrupted. That's because she's done the work to detach herself from that man, but she did it while she was in the relationship. Okay. We also have to understand that in relationships, if you want to, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to say this. If you want to heal quicker from a breakup, you need to focus on your habits, okay? And what I mean by that is quite often in relationship, we create routines, we create habits, we call and talk to each other at certain times, we do certain things throughout the day. That person was a part of your day. You have to be intentional about filling those spaces so that you aren't just hyper-focused on missing him. Okay, so if you know at 6 o'clock, he will call you at 6 o'clock, you need to get up, you need to be exercising. You need to be exercising, going for a walk, get you a walking pad. And the reason why I say something like exercise, because it releases endorphins and those endorphins make you feel better. Okay, so we even have to get into the science and tricking our brain in order to help us move on from that relationship. Okay. So let's talk about why we stay in the wrong relationship for long. Now, we know in society, they'll be like, oh, such and such can't keep a man, or he's a good man. Okay, yeah, he don't beat you. He don't cheat on you because he's that's a good man. I think the criteria for a good man is changing based off of the evolution of women. I'm gonna say it one more time because that was good to me. The criteria, I may need to make that a movie, a video. The criteria, let me write that down. The criteria for a good man is changing because of the evolution of women. Sorry, y'all. when it comes to me. I got to write it down. Okay. So let's talk about why you stay in a wrong relationship. 1, hope addiction. Maybe he'll change, or he said he'll change and you believe it, but he's not changing. He's not changing. We as women, we can give the benefit of the doubt. We can hope upon hope upon hope upon hope upon hope. We'll look for videos and someone say, well, we were together for 10 years and at year 10, he changed. But I want to ask you this. Life is so precious. One thing I've learned this year is life is so precious. Why would you want to give somebody 10 years hoping that they will change? Because this is the thing. That woman whose husband changed at year 10, it may not be your husband, your fiance, or your boyfriend. And sometimes men change not for the woman's benefit but because of their benefit. Okay, I done got sick. I done had a heart attack. I got a stroke. So I got to change. I can't be out here anymore. And she's like, oh, he's changed for the relationship. No, he changed for himself. Because the other women wasn't going to take care of him on his sick bed. But he knew you would. Hope addiction. 2, fear of being alone. Right? We confuse loneliness with love. And because we don't want to be, Janet Jackson said, I get so lonely. Can't let just anybody hold me. Some of my young girls, right? I don't want to call you a girl. Forgive me. I could be a big sister. I'm old enough to be a big sister. I think my youngest brother is, wait, let me count. My youngest brother 15. He's 15. So if you around that age, I got a brother who's 26. If you the age between 26 and 15, I'm your big sis, okay? So hear me. I've worked with younger women and they're like, I don't want no more bodies. I don't want no more bodies. So they'll stay in a relationship. Leave that man. If he's not treating you right, he's not loving you the way that you need to be loved, the way you're telling him to love you, leave him alone and not be worried about bodies, okay? Because guess what? There's a man that's going to love you and accept your past. Hear me. Okay? So don't confuse loneliness with love. A lot of us are looking for a man to fill us up and to validate us. And that's where the work that we have to do on our own so that we can have secure attachment so that we're not depending on him to fill us. We're not depending on him to make us feel beautiful. We know we're beautiful. We know our worth. We know our value. And it's not in him. Some of you, this ain't even on my notes, but sometimes we stay in the wrong relationship because of finances. Because we feel like financially we have to depend on him. If you are depending on a man financially and he's not treating you right, you need to figure out a way to increase your income so you can go and have your freedom. Don't feel bound to no man financially. Okay? This is some real talk now. Now the generation, like 2 generations above me, because I'm a millennial, would say you need to have an account on the side. Okay? You need to have some money set aside. So when he acts in certain kind of way, you can go on. Now, let me say this also. I'm not trying to fearmonger because I want us to have healthy relationships. But if you are in an unhealthy relationship and he's being financially abusive, then you need to figure out a way. I don't care if you're making cakes on the side and selling those cakes in order to get your money together so you can move on. You are worth a man loving you, being crazy about you. And I don't care. Let me say this. I don't care what that man says to you. I don't care if he tell you ain't no man gonna want you and you got those kids. That's a lie. Girl, you better understand the power that is you. Don't let that man lie to you like that. Okay. Next one. While we stay. Identity, entanglement. Who am I without them? Especially if you are, okay, let me slow down. Especially if you have a prominent position in your community. You are a woman of influence. You're a high achieving woman. And you guys are a power couple. Who am I without them? Or if you've been with them, you've been with them for 20 years or 30 years because you met them as a teenager. It's always been the two of us. Who am I without them? I've always been Jesse's girl. Who am I? Because sometimes we can lose our identity in relationships because we haven't centered ourselves. The relationship is centered. And then emotional investment, right? Staying because you've already given so much. I hear women say, we've been together 10 years or 15 years. Like, how do I, listen, if it's not healthy, leave. No amount of years. Well, okay, so you stayed 10 years. Well, I can't leave, Smithy. I've been 10 years. Like, you're willing to give another 10, another 5, another, right? When you are attached, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals tied to addiction. So we're staying in relationships sometimes because of the chemical bond that's being released. That's why I said exercise to release those endorphins to help you feel better when you're going through a breakup. This is just not about love. This is also chemicals happening on the inside of you. We are complex creatures. It's not just surface level, okay? So let's talk about how to start let go. Accept what's true, not what you wish were true. You got to accept the reality of the relationship. He's emotionally unavailable. He does what he wants to do. He's not a good communicator. Whatever it is, you have to accept it. You can love someone and still recognize they're not good for your growth. They're not good for your mental and physical health. Right? Detach with awareness. So whether it's journaling or coaching or therapy, being sure to remove emotional triggers. If you know that there's certain ways that he triggers you, you may need to work with me so I can help you create a plan for how to remove yourself from that, especially like if he engages in manipulation, if he's very manipulative. So you're just going to leave me? We've been together all this time, but what about our kids? And you like, Negro, you just came in here at 2 a.m. You wasn't studying them kids. Okay? Reclaim your identity. Reconnect with passions, goals, friends, and routines outside of the relationship. What is your life outside of the relationship? Women are taught to center the relationship. Meanwhile, your husband be going golfing every week. He exercises, all of that. But you are focused on the children and the household and all of that. He has a whole life outside of you. You need to create one too. Heal your attachment wounds. Engage in inner child work. Self-soothing affirmations like, I can be safe and loved without them. Something I want you to do, and I do this exercise often, on a piece of paper, right? Fold it in half. On one side, write all of your fears down as it relates to you leaving the relationship. On the other side, write down the truth. I can't live without him. I can't live without him. My children won't have a father. If I leave him and he decides to be an absent parent, then he was already an absent parent. My staying with him shouldn't dictate his relationship with his children. What will the church say? Listen, this ain't none of the church's business. There's many people in the church that have had a divorce. And if they judge me, then that is what it is. But I have to do what's good for me, my physical and mental health. Okay? And then replace the bond with self-connection. Every time you want to reach out to them, reach inward instead. Focus on you. Because the reason why you're reaching out to them is because there's a need that you want them to fulfill. You got to fulfill that need for yourself. All right. Let's talk about signs that you're actual healing. Okay. You stop trying to fix or prove your worth to them. You feel more peace than longing for them. You start to see the relationship clearly without romanticizing it, because we can romanticize a relationship. He's doing the bare minimum. And it's like, oh my gosh, no. If a man can love his car the way that these men love their car, how much more should he be able to do for you? That man will clean that car. He makes sure shine. He follows everything that's in the manual as relates to taking care of the car. But you ask him for something, or you tell him how to treat you, and then he has an excuse or a rationale, or he deflects why he can't treat you the way you want to be treated. But let that car got to have a flat tire. He's not going to keep driving that car. He's going to get that car a tire. Let that car's check engine light come on. He's going to take it so the engine light can be checked on. But you asking for something, and okay. You feel grateful that it ended because it taught you your worth. When you can look back on a relationship and realize that this relationship taught me my worth. And I'm glad that it taught me my worth. I'm glad that it taught me that I deserve more, that two people need to be present in the relationship, not me. If you withdrew your energy from the relationship, there would be no relationship. Okay. If you got here, there's another video I want you to watch if you haven't watched it, and that's why every woman should date selfishly. That is going to help you as it relates to moving forward. I would love to work with you, so you can click the link in the description if you need a coaching call. If you're like, Ceminthia, I'm having a hard time walking away from this relationship. I know it's not good for me. I know it's not healthy for me, but I'm just having a hard time, and we can problem solve together. We can create a plan for you in order to transition out of the relationship. Or it may be that this is a relationship that's worth saving, okay? Because that happens too. This is Heal the New Sexy. My name is Ceminthia.